Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Bsideofmarriage podcast. My name is Rashonda, and this is my husband,
Jason.
And this is a podcast where we talk about everything related to marriage, the good and the bad, the A and the B side. So we like to begin each episode with the A or B side moment. And would I go first this time, or you want to go first?
You can go first. I went first the last couple times.
Okay. I'm going to say A side moment. I had to think because things are still kind of crazy. My A side is that Ivy finally attended her first sleepover, and I did not receive a call in the middle of the night asking to come get picked up.
That's good. That's
yes.
That's good. That's cool.
You guys don't understand the questions, the preparation that this child was going into trying to get a sleepover. For the last, she's been going hard at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that we were able to.
Goodness gracious, this thing. All right.
So I'm so glad that we were able to have her have a sleepover and that she was able to have fun and did not call in the middle of the night. I had debated on putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, but I didn't, and it worked. So
yeah,
that was great.
So I guess mine will be an A side as well.
Okay.
And I'll just say because my day off, I normally would try to be doing something, trying to be active, and my wife just told me, no, just chill out. So it basically just chill. It's your off day. It's a holiday. Just don't do anything because I wanted to just start doing stuff, not because I needed to do something, but I know this is something that we want to get done already. So I was trying to get it knocked out, but she was like, just rest. So. And
for y'all who do not know, he's referencing the never-ending DIY reno of our home office.
Yes. So she gave me the okay not to do anything. So it was an exciting moment because I wanted to do it, but at the same time, I really didn't want to do it. But
yeah, so that's good. So did you enjoy yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you feel rested?
I do. I actually do feel rested because, like I said, I didn't have anything that I needed attention for. So it was good because literally I just didn't have to do anything. Like I hung with the kids most of the day. They was jumping on me, like always. The boys were just jumping on me. And then when Ivy came in, she's like, "What are you doing? Sleeping?" I said, "No," and she just started jumping on me too. So I had to get. It was cool. It was cool.
It was good.
So.
All right. So what are we talking about this week? Yes.
So I came across a video from the Red Table Talk with Will Smith and Kevin Hart.
Yep.
And one part of the actual entire
show.
Yeah, that particular episode. I wasn't sure how to say it, but he actually talked about this thing called the adversity paradox. And this is a conversation that we've had recently, like when we moved into the new house. And when he said it, it made all the sense and everything. And I was like, what? The adversity paradox? So I started reading it, and I'm like, wow, this is what we've been talking about. So wait,
it is a thing?
Yes, it's a thing.
Okay.
Like
I don't know if he just made it up.
No, I was reading it, and it's actually a thing.
Okay.
So, all right. So, yeah. So, based on what he said, the adversity paradox is that, as a parent, you grow up with a certain amount of adversity. And it could be anything that, that you had to overcome, to get where you are. And we learned during that adversity, we learned to survive those heavy obstacles and challenges. And we got stronger. We got stronger behind it.
Yes.
We was able to, strive for it, past it, and be strong enough through it. But now, with our kids, they, we try to.
I'm trying to get this off.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we try to put them in a better position than we were.
Yes.
And what we're doing is we're creating that, and like I said, what Will said, we're creating that environment where they're not getting that bacteria that they need, so that they can grow up, and they can grow and get strengthened from that, that adversity, and also learn developmental skills from that. And so it's like when he said all that, I was like, yeah, because we was during the whole last year, 2020, with the killing of George Floyd and
Breonna Taylor,
Ahmaud
Arbery,
just all the stuff that was happening. Is like we had a conversation like, are we doing the right thing by putting our kids in the district where we at? Because it kind of was twofold, right? It was are they getting that are they getting what they need, from a perspective of seeing people like them, and being around people like them, or being in a district that's predominantly Caucasian, and it's not really conducive, kind of like how we grew up. Yeah,
I grew up like this.
Yeah, but I'm just, you know what I mean. Like,
because I grew up.
But you had adversity, right or wrong?
Yes, but it wasn't because of school.
I know.
It was because of it was because of classism. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't necessarily.
Okay, well.
So I didn't really learn that.
Okay, so no, I got you.
How to achieve, yeah.
So yeah, but like for me, I grew up with like a plethora of people. So I saw people that looked like me.
Right.
I was around. I had teachers that looked like me. So it was like, and it wasn't like just a sprinkle. Like I had teachers that looked like me. And it was like I had a lot of friends. So we had that. I don't say camaraderie, but it was good to see somebody like us doing something big, or being successful in something. So just stuff like that. So for us, it's like, how do we, like, are we doing something wrong by putting our kids in? And I'm gonna say for myself, in a better school district than I was in, but at the same time, they're not learning those things. They're not learning those things that are going to give them that bacteria, like Will said, to be able to get, basically develop those survival tactics, if lack for a better word.
Okay. Well, and this is where the conversation kind of began between us, because the school and the environment that our kids are in is what I was raised in. And that's why it's like a running, I don't know if it's a running joke, but that's a joke between me and my siblings, is because they went to they were in a school district where they were surrounded by, people, it was more diverse, very much more diverse, like something you was raised in. Because they went to Bridgeport High School. So they saw a lot of people, they saw a lot of teachers and students who looked like them. Versus I went to Bridgeport High School, where Black people were definitely in the minority. I think there was 8 or 9 of us in my grade. Yeah. Am I graduating in senior class? So there wasn't a lot of us. But that's kind of where our kids are. And then I went to Texas A&M University for college, which was the same thing. But it was really weird though, because the relationships that I made at A&M was predominantly Black people. It was like we had a very cool like group of minorities who was like, we looked out for each other. So the majority of my college relationship, like real relationships, were with people that look like me. So to back it up a little bit, so what would happen when I was growing up and like going to elementary and junior high, high school, yes, the people I went to school with did not look like me, but all the activities outside of that, I felt like surrounded by those who did look like me. Yeah. So it was easier. So that's where I got like the history, the knowledge of who I am as a Black person, just by my being surrounded by family and friends outside of school. So yeah, and so that's why I didn't really have any. I guess that's why I don't feel any type of way about what the school district that our kids are in, and like the environment we're kind of raising them up in. I mean, I do feel a little guilty because I'm like, I wish there was more representation, but also I know that this is kind of like a reflection of like corporate America, if that's what they try, if that's what they're interested in. I kind of feel like this is kind of how it's a representation of the world, really. Unfortunately, this is like, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
And I also don't think that. I don't think all bacteria is good bacteria.
No, that's true. No, that is true.
Like some things I don't want them to, and I think that's why every generation wants better for their kids, because there's some things that you just don't want your kids to have to learn. There are certain life lessons that you learn that you don't want your kids to have to learn in the same manner that you had to learn it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, okay. But so I'm gonna say and I'm just gonna use bacteria because that's how he said it. So the bacteria that has has helped us, but has propelled us where we are right now to get there. How do we get our kids to learn that stuff? Because and I'll just say for myself, like you're learning at a young age. Not say young age, but learning like. I need to do something different than people in my family, because that's not that's not where I want to be. And I faced things where like people wanted me to be in gangs and stuff like that, but I was like, I don't know if that's where I'm at. Like I tried it. I mean, like I tried to say they wanted me to steal something to get in. I tried it, but after I started, I was like, that's not what I want to do. But, and I'm not saying I want my son to.
That's what I was like.
No. What I'm saying, I don't want my son to have to like do that. But at the same time, it's like that gave me something where I needed to, not say do better, but I made sure that I had my focus on doing this. Like if it was, like for me at that point, I was like, I'm focusing on, make sure I'm doing good in school and I'm doing my sports. And I'm staying in that. I didn't do drugs. I didn't do it because I was like, I'm an athlete. That's just what I'm doing. But it's like, as I look back on that, those little things, those things kind of made me who I am right now, the thick skin that I have. So, people say stuff, and it's like for me, it just bounces. A lot of stuff bounces off of me. I don't quickly get triggered, get pissed about stuff. And it's like, that's something I see in our son. And our oldest.
Okay, so a couple of things.
Yeah.
I have a couple of thoughts. So there are ways for us to build good character, like to bring the great character out of our children without them having to be it having to be a product of their environment, right? And at the end of the day, our kids are still Black. Racism is still a thing. So yes, we're doing better than our parents, but we haven't gotten there, right? Like there's still a significant gap between us and white people. So we're still going to have to instill the things in our kids that will that also too, before I finish that thought, also too, our kids are not going to be like duplicates of us.
Oh, no, I know that.
So, and that's one thing that I'm learning as a parent is that, yes, I might have thick skin and I might not be emotional. Like, I don't show my emotions until I started having kids. But I might not be emotional, but my kids are. Yeah. So, it's like how I have to be able to relate. Like, I have to be able to still communicate with them, speak to them through their love language, so that they can, you know, feel loved and then be able to be great people in society. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that they're not going to learn things. I think they're just going to learn it a different way. That was a long answer to say that.
Yeah. No, I can
so
see that.
I might have been raised. I'm trying to make sure my thoughts are politically correct. Because I don't want my family and friends. Yeah. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Even though my childhood, I felt like, and my siblings probably will agree, my childhood was very sheltered. I still experienced some things that could have sent me down the wrong, sent me on the wrong path, right? And I feel like our kids, they will still have to make those decisions as well. They're going to be certain things, even though we give them a sheltered life, especially during COVID, that was extremely sheltered. But now that things are opening back up, things are changing. But they lived an extremely sheltered life, and honestly, I'm not going to negate that. I'm actually proud that I can provide some of that protection for them. Okay. I know that's not what you want to hear.
No, it's not so much I want to hear. It's just, again, I'm just, I don't know. Like, I guess, like, for instance, because we got emotional kids, right?
We do.
So let's think this about.
Okay.
The first time you got your heart broken, or of something of that sort.
Okay.
I don't know if our kids will be ready for that.
But nobody's ready for it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, how do like especially our youngest, like, he loves everything, but the minute they get there, either heartbroken or disappointment, like, how? Because again, for me, I just I've always been just cool, just kept it moving, like, but
do you think that was healthy? Even like now, as an adult, as you're going through, therapy and all that stuff, do you think that was a healthy way to handle it?
No, I don't think it was, but
right.
It was.
So I feel like we have an opportunity to have our kids be able to handle things differently in a better way, because we know better, so we can help them do better. So I was like, it's not just about we're in a different financial situation than our parents were when they raised us. It's like we can offer them techniques and tools to process their feelings. Like, and we talk about the whole new age parenting, right? About how we have to deal with their feelings. Like, we can't just say, because I told you to. Like, well, they still get a lot of that.
No, they get that.
They do get that.
They get that, because I get the child.
But we do help them process their feelings. We tell them to use their words instead of just their to always use their words, so we can understand where they're coming from. No, we try to get to the root of things, so that they don't just react, especially because of the environment they're growing up in, and how that their reactions are going to be seen differently than some of their classmates. No, you're right. So that's what I'm saying. So I feel like we have an opportunity to just make actually more well-rounded individuals that can contribute to society in a positive manner.
Okay.
and that they don't have to have a hard knock life in order to have that drive.
It's not It's not so much having the hard knock life. It's just, you know, again, and I'll say my family, just not because my family is more northeast. My kids aren't really around that side of my family that often, but I already know, like, if we brought them around, the kids probably be like, because they'll be not say out of touch, but they will be out of touch of.
They will.
Of what, you know, like, again, let's say how I've grown up, but they'll be out of touch. So there's like, part of it's like they're losing part of who I am inside them. Okay. Does that make sense?
So I feel like that's a different thing because because they're coming from two different backgrounds, right? Yeah. So they're like, because there's the family that, you know, our country, because were raised more rural, and then they would consider where I grew up like the city. Okay. Right? Yeah. So whenever there will be the family reunions or whatever, they'll be like, oh, here come the bougie cousins. Right? Yeah. And I think I feel like that's with every family or within every dynamic, you're going to have kids come from different pockets, you know, different lifestyles. So, but that's like what family's about. And I think they're always going to be different because they live in the suburbs. And your family's a city. Like city.
City and suburbs.
Even your suburbs are more city than ours.
Oh yeah, no, that's true.
See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because Texas suburbs versus New York suburbs, there's not an apples to apples comparison.
That's true. That is true.
And it's just because you guys also have like public transportation, and so you have family who's comfortable with sending kids, like, oh, they gotta go somewhere, they're gonna get on the bus and whatever. Yeah. No, that's true. I would never put I would not put our kids on Metro. No telling where they would end up. Okay? They'd be like, wait, what? I gotta do here? Yes. No. So that's what I'm saying. It's just kind of because they just live in different places.
So you don't see our kids look in this whole adversity paradox, kind of what Will Smith. You don't see there's anything that our kids will need to develop, you know, not so much the thick skin, but to be able to develop, kind of like how we said.
Do I think they're gonna miss something?
Not so much miss, like, because they didn't experience like. You know, like, kind of like what Will said. It's just like, he said Calabasas is you know, word for pumpkin.
Yes.
It's like just that little thing, like you know, not say you think you hard, but you live in full shit. Ain't nothing hard about full shit. Like again,
yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
well, and that's why I feel like I just want them to understand who they are, because they should know what fights to pick, what not. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, because even he's saying, like, yeah, don't pick a fight and you don't know how to fight.
Yeah,
that is our kids.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't want them to fight.
Yeah,
but I want them to be able to defend themselves, which is why we have them like in martial arts and stuff. Yeah. But I don't want them going out and picking a fight. They will lose.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say they're gonna. They might have a chance.
They might have a chance. But
depending on who they pick it, like if they pick it well.
But yeah, it's like I don't know, and it's not so much about just fighting.
I know. We're using that as an example.
It's not so much just about fighting. It's just the thought. It's like, you know, again, like I said, are they gonna have all those pieces? Even though, they didn't go through what what I went through and what you went through, but are they gonna have those pieces to be able to combat those things, be able to, you know, develop and still have those skills, you know, those skills? No?
Yes, I feel like it.
Okay. Okay,
I feel like they're going to, because you're always gonna have they're always gonna have some kind of disappointment. Mm-hmm. And also, I was actually talking with a friend about this a couple of days ago. Not this paradox specifically, but in general, because we always say about no matter what you do as a parent, your kids are going to need therapy. Mm-hmm. So, and that's just kind of like no matter what you do as a parent to provide what kind of lifestyle for them, they're always going to see it in a different way. So the example they were using was that the kids thought that the mom was careless with them in the pool because she would just let them swim in the deep end. Mm-hmm. And she would be over talking to her friends. Okay. So because it seemed as though no one was watching, and they're like, yeah, because anything could have happened to us, we could have drowned or whatever, and you wouldn't have cared or whatever. But the mom was like, do y'all not realize that we were in a pool where there was like a lot of friends? Mm-hmm. And their friends were like, even though I might not have been looking directly your way, there were people in the pool who had eyes on you at all times. Mm-hmm. But kids don't see it because they're only looking from their perspective. Okay. So even though we say that we're providing this life for these kids that are sheltered, and they're probably like, nope, our parents don't love us. Okay. Because they didn't buy me that thing that I wanted.
No, you're right.
Because we don't have this.
No, that makes sense.
And you were like, but you had everything. Like, all your needs were taken care of. What do you mean we didn't love you? We didn't provide for you. But from a kid perspective, they were just like, no. So this was like, I think that they'll be fine because they're going to experience like they're going to experience life. Yeah. Just not like we did. Okay. Or more specifically, like you did. But they will experience. I told you, I lived a shelter life. Like basically, life. I'm giving my kids
the life you had.
Well, more.
Yeah.
More shelter than they did.
Yeah, because
than I did. Yeah.
I was able to pretty much go everywhere, and my mom was cool with it. She was, and like I said, she knew I wouldn't get into trouble. I wouldn't do stuff like that because that was, like I said, that was really my thing. I always wanted to, I don't say stay on the straight and narrow, but I always made sure that I didn't disappoint anything to my mom. I didn't want to do anything that's going to disappoint my mom. So, and yeah, like I say, this one time I did, but we didn't go into that.
Yeah, nah, I don't want that. I mean, I can't say that for myself. My whole thing was I never wanted to get caught. That's it. I just never wanted to get caught.
But okay.
That all the things that choices that are not so good. I just didn't want to get caught. Was I successful? Most of the times not. But that's okay. But it was all part of growing up.
Supposed to do it, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And our kids are going to make those same choices. Some are going to be good and some are not. And they will have to deal with the consequences of those bad choices.
You don't feel, I guess you don't think that this adversity paradox is going to be, like kind of what Will said, is going to be a thing for you with our kids?
No, it is going to be a thing. Okay. It's just not a big thing like for you. Like I guess because I understand that. I guess I felt like that was something that's like a part of our decision as to how we were going to raise our kids. Okay. And that where we were going to raise our kids.
Gotcha.
Because we could have easily, well, not could have easily, but we could have decided that we would raise our kids up north. Yeah. Or somewhere else. Mm-hmm. No. And who's to say that, this is where they will, according to our plans today, we want to raise him here, in Texas. Mm-hmm. But there's no guarantee that will be for all of them. Yeah. Okay. But I think those are we inherently decided this is the approach we were going to take when we did what we did.
Okay.
Right?
No, you're right. You're right.
And I think we're just going to have to manage. We'll just manage it.
Okay.
I think for us, we just have to have more conversations around race, and we need to have more conversations around race and around our Black people's contributions to history. I think as long as we are providing them all the information, let them do what they will, what they will, Okay. And then we just have to ensure that they're, building healthy relationships with people. I think yeah, we just manage it. Okay. I'm not gonna drop them off.
No.
In the hood, like y'all tough it out for 24 hours. I'm not gonna do that.
I may threaten to do that if they act a fool, but I'm not saying that.
But they don't. But they don't know what that means.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I'm saying.
They own, and that's what's like. What are our kids exposed to? Yeah. Even because we follow Kev on Stage, Miss Kev on Stage, and they're raising bougie kids. And they accept that. They embrace that. Yeah. Okay. And I don't think we're raising bougie kids. Yeah. I think they definitely are sheltered from a lot of things. Yeah. But
they only know what they've learned so far.
Right, because and that's what, as they get older, we won't be able to control their exposure to things. Like, they're still young. Yeah. So we control the exposure to stuff. I think our biggest culprit or our biggest threat is the internet. Oh yeah. And so it's just kind of like that's how they learn about certain things, because we were like, we don't talk that, we don't know that song, like that's so true. So I think it can all be managed. Okay. All right. And we're gonna raise some really great kids.
Oh no, I know we're gonna raise some really great kids.
I should say we were raising some
really we're raising kids. Really great kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into that, but
and I do know we need to increase them getting to hang with your family. Yeah. And that's only because of the
distance, because COVID too. So.
Physical patient. But other than that, I think as long as they get to hang out with their family from your side, from actually both sides, they'll be fine. Like, they can go hang out with my dad's side of the family, and that'll be a whole different. Like, they ride horses. I know. Like, I can't be like, what? Ride horses? Like, they want to understand. So that's what I'm saying. I think it'll be fine.
All right. Well, we'll just have to, like I said. We'll work through this, because
I say, let us know in the comments how you guys feel about this. Do you think that this is an issue with the way you're raising your kids, or what you've seen of family members and how they're handling this, or do y'all just think that Jay's being a little over dramatic?
That's wrong. That's so wrong.
I mean, no, I get it. It is a concern. Because I know one thing that we were really talking about too, as part of this conversation, was we didn't want to overdo it. Yeah. For them, like, we don't want to have them become entitled.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids, but I think there's a balance that I think we're doing. Well, so far I think we're doing a good job. Okay.
No, again, I think we are. It's just, I don't know, like I said, listen to that. I know my kids cannot function in how I was raised. And I'm not saying I was raised crazy. I'm not saying that.
But it's different.
It's different. Like, and I'll just, it's different. It's just different. I can't, So, but.
We can always send them to their aunt and uncle's house if we want them to have poor internet, to see how they survive. So we have options to rough them up. Okay.
That's true. So. But thanks again for y'all listening to. I'm saying my crazy behind, because, like I said, it was something that hit me, and I was like, man, this makes a lot of sense. But having this conversation right now with my wife, and I think they're getting what they need, anything else will we'll be there to cover them still. So
exactly.
But again, thank y'all for watching.
Yes,
like, comment, and share. Again, if you guys have any topics you want us to even discuss, just put it in the comments.
Yes.
You can listen if you're watching this. You can listen. You can listen to this also on Spotify and Apple Music, or if you listen to this on our Apple or Spotify, you can watch this on YouTube. So, again, thank you again, guys.
And follow us on Instagram at the B-Side of Marriage, on Facebook at the B-Side of Marriage.
Yeah, B-Side of Marriage.
Yeah, at the B-Side of Marriage.
Well, thank you again, y'all, and we see y'all next week.
All right, peace.
Peace.